You're watching the PlantX Vodcast. Join us as we explore the inner workings of all things plant-based and all things PlantX, from the products and lifestyles to the people behind them. Now welcome our host, the man who combined his love of e-commerce and the plant-based lifestyle to create PlantX, Sean Dollinger.
Hey everyone, welcome to our PlantX Vodcast, Season 3, Episode 4. And thanks again to our investors, shareholders, customers who take time out of their day to join us live, ask questions about, what PlantX is all about, learn about all the exciting things we're up to. For all our first-time viewers and anybody who doesn't really know what PlantX is all about, we're your one-stop shop for everything plant-based. So if you're looking for meal delivery, groceries, plant-based products for your pets, or even plant-based cosmetics, we're your one-stop shop for everything plant-based. And at the end of the day, we have retail stores for education purposes, but more importantly, for distribution. So now we offer same-day delivery in Toronto, Ottawa, as well as Chicago, Los Angeles, soon to be Las Vegas, and a few other cities around North America. So really, really exciting. And all of this in just a year and a half, basically, of going public. We went public in August of 2020, and things are going fantastic. Our team is tremendous. And today I'm really excited for our guests, Robbie and Klaus from Plant-Based News. And we're going to have them on in just a little bit. And their whole following that they've created online just shows the demand for plant-based, vegan, the curiosity around it, all the fun facts they bring, the education piece. We've had the opportunity to work with them. I'll elaborate a little bit before we bring them on the show. Before we jump into that, though, I think it's important that everybody understands all the different verticals that PlantX has. So it's not just plantx.com or plantx.ca, but our team manages over 20 different websites now and basically creates unique funnels on each of those sites. Little West, go check it out, littlewest.com. And there's a lot to that website. And from taking it over just a few months ago, we've brought it up from just a few sales B2C to 20, 30 sales. And that'll continue to grow with the subscription that we offer. Again, as investors and shareholders and customers, I encourage you to go play around with all of our websites and really see what goes into all of it. Because sometimes people say, oh, you're plantx.com, but really we're a whole family of sites. And if you go to plantx.com and you go to the bottom footer, you'll see all the different websites that are part of PlantX and essentially what you are becoming part of. So, thanks for that. With Plant-Based News, Robbie, Klaus, they've been tremendous partners. Just last year, we created a awareness program with them where we went ahead and gave away a Peloton in collaboration. We got thousands of followers on our Instagram and our social channels. And then just recently we sponsored basically the highlight reel of 2021 with them. And they put together, I was blown away when I watched it, and it put a smile on my face to know that, I co-founded PlantX, and to be part of that mission and what they put together in 2021 was such an exciting year. And I know 2022 will be a tremendous year as well. So on that, Robbie, Klaus, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having us. Great to be here with you.
Thanks for that intro.
Yeah, no, I'm always blown away by speaking to you guys and what you've created over there. I see the challenges. My background is on the e-com side of things, not so much on like the social growth, et cetera. And I always tell Alex, our CMO, it's like, how do these guys get 1 million followers when at the end of the day, it's so hard for us to go through 30,000 or 35,000 or whatever we're at. So, I salute you guys. I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. And before we jump into what you've created and what it's all about. We love to start our podcasts with, how do you take your coffee?
Klaus, I'll let you go first.
It's the most important question, right? So any soy latte, but the latte art has to be heart. That's what I say. I don't even know if that's a legit answer, but what about you, Robbie?
So my drink of choice, hot drink of choice, isn't actually coffee because it gets me a little bit jittery, even decaf, and I love a super extra frothy turmeric latte. That's my hot drink of choice.
Love it. Love it. Good mix of drinks. And I get it on the decaf side. Sometimes I feel you on that. And, plant-based news, the authority, I'd say, on plant-based living, vegan. How did it get started? Challenges you guys faced with getting going, and the traction that you guys have been able to achieve.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot for the compliments. I really, really appreciate it. And right back at you. Really appreciate everything you're doing. I guess I launched it in 2015, mainly as a YouTube and a social media platform. And then Robbie came on board in 2016, and then we incorporated in 2017. But I guess I was just so inspired by the amount of innovation I was seeing in the automotive industry with Tesla ditching leather, or in the film industry of Leonardo DiCaprio bringing Cowspiracy, I think it was, to Netflix. Beyond Meat, the arc of that business was really inspiring to me as well. And there's just so many innovations that I just thought, we had to create a portal out there to talk about this innovation and this progress, and create awareness around the growing ethical, health and environmental awareness around the world.
Klaus and I met at a vegan event, which is kind of like TED Talks for vegans. It was called Vegan Futures, some 5+ years ago. And we just hit it off. We just became really good friends. I lived at the bottom of the hill. He lived at the top of the hill just by pure chance. I mean, London is a big place. So we could have really have lived at different ends of the city, but we ended up living very close to each other. And Klaus would come over and we would work in my spare room in our previous house, and just evenings staying up, doing all kinds of wacky stuff with social media and video editing. And of course, out of the blue, we got some investment support, and that really just empowered us both to quit our full-time jobs and put all our energy into PBN, and it is what it is today. I guess the question around obstacles, I guess our biggest obstacles are making sure that we continue to grow without running out of money, because obviously media is a very expensive business. Talented people cost money. Resources are not cheap. Tech costs, server costs, marketing technology costs. The more people you hire, the more money you need. The more money you need, the more people you need. And it's just never-ending spiral. And those are our biggest challenges. I guess our other challenges are staying relevant, staying on top of the competition, and innovating at all times, and always trying to be different, and keeping our audience guessing all the time, and always trying to be at the forefront of the revolution that is plant-based.
Love it. Yeah, no, in 2022, obviously, you got to stay relevant. And with the speed that everything goes and the news coming out, if you're not the first source to report it or create or any of that, then at the end of the day, someone will go somewhere else. So I appreciate the challenges, not only in growing what you guys have grown and to be able to keep that momentum going, but then to keep the customer. Just today I was looking at somebody's Instagram following, and I think they do a great job. But, I'm like, wow, here they have such a defined audience. And even last week, they lost 20 followers and gained 40, and they're doing it all organically, right? So with what you're saying and the cost involved, on doing this content creation and all of these things you do, obviously, I appreciate at the end of the day all the hard work you guys put in and the audience that you guys have captured.
Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated.
So with you guys having such a pulse on the industry and understanding the different verticals that are picking up steam, what category in the plant-based space do you really see getting some traction?
I'll just quickly speak on the things that I'm super excited about. I know, Klaus, you mirror a lot of these as well, is things like, they're not strictly plant-based, but precision fermentation, or what we call animal-free foods. The food tech and innovation part is the most exciting because it is the solution to the problem. The reason we're seeing widespread environmental collapse is because of animal agriculture, which is because of what people are eating. But if we can push these solutions through as quickly as possible and bring them to scale, we are going to see, huge shifts in the right direction. We were working with a brand over in Israel called PlantX. They are the first to produce full cut vegan salmon steaks. And this thing, you could not tell that it was vegan. The way it looks, the way it falls apart, it's just the innovation and the technology, the machinery to build these full cut meats, plant-based meats, is mind-blowing. Obviously, that's not precision fermentation, it's plant-based. But even in that space, the things that I'm seeing that are coming in our inboxes every day just blows my mind.
Awesome.
I think the movement, I think the one thing to say, Sean, is the movement from when we first got into it has completely changed. Initially it was all about plant-based, and now, as Robbie says, it's all about alternative protein. We've got cultivated meat and precision fermentation, and I just couldn't have predicted that, 10 years ago when I got interested in this. I thought everybody would be having fruits and vegetables and a diet replete with grains and beans and legumes, and unfortunately that hasn't come true. And it's clear that the trajectory is going more plant-based, but actually it's being supplemented by this alternative protein and cultivated meat, and I think it's making it more realistic for people so they can transition more easily.
Yeah, no, I agree with the transition. And last week's guest, it was such an interesting vodcast where I keep saying my big thing to investors and people who follow PlantX is we're food at the end of the day. Everybody needs food on the planet to survive, So instead of looking at the plant-based industry as just a multi-billion-dollar industry, I actually see it as $1 trillion industry. And that was reinforced last week, where the topic of discussion was people who are allergic to seafood, for example, which is millions of people out there. Now, all of a sudden, they could enjoy seafood once again, right? And then when I was telling the story to someone this week, they said, how about religion? There's a lot of religions out there that don't allow seafood. And now all of a sudden, plant-based industry allows people to be able to consume these products that they've never been able to consume before. So it's actually, to me, it's bigger than even the traditional markets that we experience today, So I do believe that we're in just this incredible space, and really, really excited that we get to partner with you guys. And so based on what you said, Klaus, how you didn't even see the industry going to where it did 10 years ago when you started going, exploring the industry, where do you see this going in the next 10 years?
I think that awareness is not going to precede change as much as we thought. So I think everybody into this movement had this romantic vision of people becoming aware that, the environment and the health effects of animal-based food diet. But actually, what I think will happen is people seamlessly stop supporting animal agriculture with things like cultivated meat and alternative protein. And then we'll look back once our behavior changes and think, actually, what we're doing before, wrecking the environment, putting all the antibiotics into our bloodstream, actually, maybe that wasn't right. Whereas before, I thought awareness would precede change. I just think it's going to become so much part of our movement, our food system, that we're not even going to know. We're going to kind of go vegan without realizing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that that is spot on. And it goes back to our whole thing about food is food, and why do you even need to point it out at the end of the day, and this whole transition into it. So really exciting times. And the show is live, as you guys know, and we get a lot of viewers who send in questions, and we love to go ahead and give out Little West juices if they're in the US, and in Canada we send out meal subscription, etc. So thank you everyone for sending in your questions today, and Robbie and Klaus will ask those in a little bit. And we encourage people to send in, any feedback, positive, negative, anything that we could improve, please share with us. And a lot of work went into obviously creating this trusted brand that you guys have created. Maybe you could touch a little bit on how did you capture this trust from this audience and everything that you've got.
Yeah, so this is something we both care about a lot, which is a few things: credibility, transparency, and honesty. we're very new to this game, really, in the grand scheme of things, and there have been times where we haven't got it right. But we're both the kinds of people who will put our hands up and say, not just individually, but collectively, that we didn't do something right. We'll make improvements, and we'll keep a record of that. We're the only vegan media in the world to be independently regulated by a press authority. We take our credibility and our transparency very seriously because we want to be seen as a trustworthy resource, so that when people come to us about nutrition advice, or they want to learn about the big picture with regards to the growth of the movement, that we're being focused on facts, and that fact checking is an important part of what we do. So really, it's about living that philosophy in everything that we do. Every article, if there is a mistake, it's very clearly mentioned at the bottom. This headline was changed. This fact was changed because of X, Y, or Z. And even interpersonally as well, we focus very much on building community. Klaus and I are always in the DMs of all our social channels, talking to people, interacting with people. We believe in sharing the space. We've built this platform not for ourselves. This isn't the Klaus and Robbie show. We are plant-based news, but when Robbie and Klaus step away, PBN is still thriving and a vibrant community. And we bring in lots of different voices as much as we can, because we believe that, together we can go a long way rather than operating individually. And that's, I believe, the lifeblood of who we are and how we've built what we've built.
Yeah, awesome. And it's so important that obviously what you're reporting, especially in this growing industry we're in, that it's accurate, right? At the end of the day, people are coming and they're exploring and they want to know, is this good for me? Is it not good for me? What alternatives are there out there? So, I think that while we're providing this whole, access or tool for people to be able to get all these incredible products and all these new products coming out, it's equally as important that they're being educated and learning everything there is about the industry from you guys.
Absolutely. It's exciting times.
It is. And at the end of the day, I know that you did a series raise recently. Obviously we went public back in August of 2020. It's been a journey. What do you think on the investment side? What companies out there should we all keep an eye on, and any other input for anybody looking to either go public in the space or start their kind of launch?
Yeah, I'm a huge admirer of what you guys have done, Sean. We did a seed round last year, and there was just so much administration and investor liaison, just work involved. So for you to have gone public, and I think you said 2020, didn't you? It must have been just a huge amount of work. So a huge amount of respect for that. But yeah, I think just the ticket sizes are increasing. So you look at Tyndall, which is a plant-based chicken company, European based, I believe. They just did a Series A for 100 million.
Wow.
You'd never have gotten that 10 years ago. I think the first major company that broke into the space was Just. Then they were later called Hampton Creek. And what are they called now, Robbie? I've forgotten.
They were Hampton Creek, and they're Just now. Just Foods?
Just Foods, exactly. Yeah. They raised 100 million in 2014 or 2015. That was after 4 years of operating. But the fact you got Series A ticket sizes coming in at 100 million is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, those are huge numbers, and definitely we see the traction in the space. I believe PlantX has now raised a little over $35 million, and I'm sure you guys could appreciate how much work goes into raising those dollars. And then once you get them, people have trusted you with those dollars, and you need to make the most of it. And I believe the PlantX team has done a tremendous job in the value that we've created for our shareholders and investors. And so thankful that, we've been part of this explosive growth in this industry, and can't wait to see what the future holds.
Absolutely.
So, again, for our viewers, apologize if the stream's a little choppy today. I'm actually traveling and doing the best, and we wanted to make sure to get on at a certain time today because Klaus and Robbie are obviously overseas, and I believe there's an 8-hour time difference, so it's already probably about 8 p.m. over there, or 7 p.m. So thanks, guys, for joining. And we did get a bunch of questions, so if you wouldn't mind, let's get over to those. for Robbie and Klaus, will PBN expand to North America and in particular Canada in the near future with news specific to our region?
So interestingly, most of our audience is in the US, and we do a lot of news in the US, but we can always do more. We're currently still a very small team, and in fact, I think a lot of people assume that we're like a 50-strong team, that we've got this huge editorial team, but we've built this platform on a very, very lean team because our initial investment was fairly small, and we've really made it go a long way because we wanted to maintain a strong editorial control over who we are and what we do. I think if we gave away too much of the business in the beginning, we may have lost control and it could have veered off in various different directions. But as far as like PBN USA and PBN Canada, opening an office there would be, amazing. We would love to be able to have writers working full time in the US and in Canada, getting all the latest news, reporting live, because obviously this space is only going to grow rapidly. And we want, as you said, Sean, to be at the forefront of news as it happens, rather than, catching up, because obviously we are 8 hours ahead. We are, I was going to say we're in the future, but I guess we are. But yeah, it's important for us, and it is something that Klaus and I talk about a lot. But as we scale and move into other regions, also we talk about regionalization. I'd love to see PBN in Spanish and in French and in Mandarin. There are billions of people out there who don't speak English who need this information, because plant-based nutrition is a life-saving lifestyle for many people who are adopting the standard American diet across the globe, which is shortening people's lives tremendously.
Yeah, and I have this appreciation, and typically we don't really have guests on that that I've had the opportunity to work really close with, and your backgrounds, or at least the industry that you've created, or the business you've created, I'm very in touch with what goes into it. And when you keep speaking about this content creation, I do want to take 1 second to point out to our investors and shareholders and customers how much work go into our site, where we have 10,000, let's say, different products. And those products all need unique content. So we have a content creation team of about 20 to 30 people that are literally working around the clock creating original content, and we handle one blog. I'm not exactly sure how much content creation you send out on a daily basis. I know it's more than one blog, and I know it's more than one recipe or 2 recipes a week. But just in what we create, I know how much work goes into it. So, again, I think it's amazing that you guys have been able to do what you do with such a lean and small team and still come out with such unbelievable content. I truly appreciate everything that you guys are doing over there.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that.
I think at the beginning, it was quite easy because it was just YouTube and Facebook and a little bit of Instagram. But now we have, Twitter and the website and the recipes and LinkedIn and TikTok. There's so many different platforms. It can be a challenge to keep up.
And me coming with a new wish list. Klaus loves to joke about my wish lists. It's like, no late night wish lists. I'm the ideas person, and I'm always like, what about this? What about this? And Klaus like, oh no, not another social platform. We cannot do another social platform.
Sounds very similar over here, Robbie. And, even on the translations, I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to check out what we've done, but like bloomboxclub.de, again, hundreds, if not thousands of pages. It's not just products. It's not just, and it all just needs to be created. It's not like just putting it in Google Translate. It's people literally sitting there 18 hours a day doing translations, and now we're about to launch in France and Spain and Italy. So all these things you speak about, if you need any tips or any type of heads up on how much work it actually is, it's insane, So again, I hope that the viewers who take time to watch and to hear about this start understanding everything that goes in. It's not just like, oh wow, it's a website. There's so much more behind it.
I can really relate to that. My background is digital. I was a user experience designer for many years, and our clients would very often take for granted how much time and energy it takes to build digital products. It's, you don't just push a few buttons. One of my favorite things would be like, how do we make this go viral? Clients would say in the agency world, how do you make this go viral? Or, how can you make it more interesting or make it fresher? And I'm like, okay, interesting. So I think the creative process and the technical process is something that is massively under represented and valued, especially in today's modern world where everything's operating so fast. And the consumer takes everything for granted, with instant music on Spotify and instant relationships on Tinder and instant, products on Amazon. Everything is just instant, and people have become very over expectant. So yeah, there's a lot of passion and creativity and energy that goes into all the machines and systems, real human beings behind all those systems you're using every day.
Yeah, no, on our side, we even encountered a little bit. You met Christian. Obviously, there's a few people that even go into a production like this, right? From putting together the graphics to the intros to like every aspect to try to make it go as perfect as possible. And Christian, who you had the opportunity to meet, we even have this debate internally, right? A thumbnail on YouTube. What does the thumbnail look like? How should it represent? Doing A/B testing. What gets better views? What goes viral, like you're saying? Should there be music in the background? Should there not be? Should it be a voiceover? Should it be live? And that's just us, and that's just 1/100th of probably our day-to-day activity and importance. While for you guys, it's essentially everything, right? Like all these different decisions that need to be made into all these things. So it's a lot, and I think you guys have done an unbelievable job to get the traction that you have to position to where you've gone. And one more question, I guess, because we could obviously, I'm super passionate about what you guys do, so I could speak probably all day about it. But let's see here. What social media works best for this type of news? Twitter, TikTok, etc.
I would say Instagram. In terms of plant-based news, there's so many plant-based stories that just in a headline people can understand, and just the video and photo sharing platform that Instagram is probably our biggest platform, and it's the most effective way for us to reach as many people as possible. But what do you say, Robbie?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say it really depends on the type of content and the type of news you want to share. That people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter all the time, and it's because of social media. And Klaus and I have talked about that. Do we want to be part of the solution or part of the problem? Do we want to be part of shortening people's attention spans by putting out shorter and shorter, more and more bite-sized bits of information? Or do we want to try and work more with human psychology and find smart ways to educate people and get all the facts across in a really coherent and effective and efficient way? Instagram and TikTok allow us to do that, because obviously we can put, Instagram, you can put up to an hour-long videos. On TikTok, it's up to 3 minutes. You can get quite a lot across in 3 minutes, I would say. So when we do news, and when we're doing news updates, one of our content partners we work with, he produces a lot of good news stories for us, positive plant-based news. We put a video out recently about bee bricks that they're building into walls in Brighton here in the UK. And that's had almost 1 million views in less than 24 hours. Super simple, super watchable, snackable content that is relatable. And for me, it's not about which platform. It's about, are you creating relatable content that grabs people's attention within the first 5 to 6 seconds? If you don't do that, the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube algorithm will say, this piece of content isn't engaging enough, and ranks it down, and then it'll go lower and lower and lower, and eventually it won't actually be seen by enough people. And so the question really should be more, how are we framing our content or our message, and then working out where we want to put it, on which platform we want to put it on, because it doesn't really matter what platform it goes on. It's more about how you package it up.
Yeah, from that response right there, it's definitely not your first time doing anything like this. It's unbelievable, and I recognize all those things, and I would have to agree 100% with that answer. And on that note, there's many more questions, but I think that'd be a great spot to leave it. And I do look forward to having you guys back on the podcast in the future. And if you guys have a podcast on your side or anything in the works, we would love to be guests on your show as well. And yeah, again, thank you very much for coming out, being supporters, believers in what we're doing here at PlantX. And I know you guys work really close with Alex and our marketing team, and I'm really excited to see where we go next with you guys in 2022.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you
you
so
guys.
much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Good one. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Their network is just so strong, and with the amount of followers, obviously it's an audience for PlantX. And due to PlantX being a platform, essentially everybody's our partners. So whatever brands they work with, we want to bring them on PlantX because we want to bring our customers the most exciting products out there. We want to be first to market. We want exclusives. We want banner ads to display products that we absolutely love here at PlantX. And, today we launched or I believe it was yesterday officially, our distribution center out of Chicago. And packages are already going out the door. Sam, who's head of logistics at PlantX, did a tremendous job in setting up what I think is a state-of-the-art fulfillment center that gives us distribution to the full Midwest, and massive population with not much competition, and really bringing innovative new products to people's doorstep. And with partners like Robbie and Klaus from PBN, it really allows us to get the message out there and capture new customers. And with the technology that Athar and Kumar have done such a great job in setting up the subscription-based fulfillment, and our email marketing team with Jacqueline and Theo creating all these unbelievable newsletters that you get, I'm just excited for what 2022 looks like, and to introduce you to more partners in the future. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day. I know the times have been floating around a little bit. We try to adjust for different things. So thank you for making time. And obviously, if you don't get a chance to watch live, hopefully, whenever you do have time, it's available for you. So till next time, stay curious, stay planted, stay healthy.
Thanks for watching the PlantX Vodcast. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more information, go to investor.plantx.com. See you next time.